I told you a story about one of our clients who created their own certificate of
That's right, I remember
insurance,
that. Yeah,
and they didn't create their own legally,
right.
right?
Yeah,
So just think about PDFs with AI is in the beginning stages of where it's going. Just think as it improves how much more fraud is going to be out there, Peter. We're already seeing it.
yeah,
So it fraud is a big deal.
right, right. Well, it's interesting you say that. So that's where I think having a digital footprint becomes really necessary and almost helps eliminate the fraudulent aspect of these of certain processes, specifically around certs. It absolutely does. We've studied the area. We've been monitoring this for years now, and we see so many examples of fraud. The one common theme that I notice is that you don't find fraudulent s- policies inside management systems in the insurance industry. Like no agent, even if the agent's the criminal, they're not going to be foolish enough to put that inside their management system. It'll exist on a PDF,
Yep.
or a supplier and a policyholder wants to falsify insurance, right? Of course, it's going to be on the PDF. And you're right. It's going to get easier and easier to change a limit, to do whatever you want. But yeah, it's when there's a digital footprint and the form is actually doing what's intended. It's
So
not,
let me ask you a question. Maybe you can explain how Certificial is playing a role in minimizing and catching fraud.
sure. For those who don't know much about Certificial, just know that we are a network and we are the only solution in the market right now that looks at this process from end to end. That means we're here to service organizations like Chris for cert issuance. We got the self-service capabilities for the insured who needs something on the weekend. And then we have a complete partner network for certificate holders and vendor management partners, right? So that entire ecosystem exists within our network. To answer your question more directly is when we're bringing on partners on the requester side where certificate holders ultimately reside, one of the things that we're doing to kind of transform this is we're not obtaining COIs directly from policyholders and insured suppliers, however you want to, uh, you know, identify that entity or that stakeholder. It doesn't mean we cannot. What we do is we have the network try and work directly with the agent broker community, source the information from the actual providers of the insurance, i.e. yourself. Policyholders, insureds, they don't want to middle this process. All right. And when
They
they
don't.
do is exactly when there's an opportunity for a stale document, a fraudulent document to be inserted in. And so one of the things that we do is we say, let's work through the network. We have 27,000 registered agencies on Certificial today, which we're incredibly proud of. And we thank every one of them for the participation. The big thing we're doing is we're bringing the relationships directly to the agents and brokers. We're integrating with those systems, going right to the source and getting a cert that we know is coming from the actual agent or broker. It's one of the many ways in which we are combating fraud. But the other aspect of that is that digital footprint is there, right? So, and it also allows for real-time monitoring. And that's equally important because what is the end result we're looking to achieve here? The only reason COIs exist is because a cert holder wants to monitor insurance.
Correct.
Cannot be done with a PDF. You can't
Well,
just,
that's why
it's
when we had that
impossible.
conversation, I wanted you to share that because that was like music to my ears when I heard that because
Right.
we can't I mean, we do thousands and thousands and thousands. There's going to be fraud. The more we can utilize Certificial,
Right.
the less we have to worry about fraud.
Yeah. And this, fraud comes in a lot of different flavors, right? There's just a cert that just never, policies that never existed before, a complete, fabrication. There's also folks who will get insurance, get that COI out the door, and then reduce their limits or do a cancellation. So the form was actually real, right? And that's when I say you can't monitor insurance with a PDF is because it's good for one day. You don't know what changed tomorrow. You don't know if a vehicle was removed from a schedule. It doesn't have to be a cancellation. It could be something far more, into the details, right, of the policy that changed. And why is that important to our industry? Why should we care about that? That sounds like a cert holder benefit when I say it, but it's the fact that the stale data and the static information is being used to make business decisions throughout every other vertical and industry is the reason why it is so much E&O exposure for us and why every insurance broker and agent who's writing commercial lines needs to have their own E&O exposure and primarily due to certificates of insurance, right?
No question. And you thought you were interviewing me today. See that?